Vietnam is really dangerous. So when it comes to traveling to a country like Vietnam, you often think, oh, it's a cool place to travel. But there's certain things that often get overlooked. Like, it's still a country where there isn't like free speech. It's a place where if you're anything anti-government or you want to speak against something that the government supports, then you can face time in jail. Just like any place in the world, there's good and the bad. And a lot of people don't talk about those very things that I talk about. Like, back on the topic of how safe is actually Vietnam, whether that's my own parents telling me, hey, don't go, you know, there's this and this and this. You can get killed, it's dangerous.
Con nghe mẹ con về 1 tháng thôi, con đi lo làm tương lai của con đi. Nói con rồi đấy, con đừng có về nhiều không được đâu. Con biết đâu, Việt Nam rất là nguy hiểm đó.
But the reality is, have you been there recently? Or are you just doing this through hearsay? Or you're doing this because you're saying all this judgment because you haven't been there? And the truth is, the Vietnam that my parents know is much different from the Vietnam today. A generation of where kids don't have to grow up in any sort of civil war, where modernism and infrastructure is rapid, and things like by the year of 2020, Vietnam is going to have their own light rail or metro system. A lot of economic development, there's things like the youth culture, and some places in Vietnam are even as modern as there are here in Vancouver, in Canada, in States, and wherever. And I'm not putting aside that, yes, you know, there's still things that need to be improved, but through the power of the internet, entrepreneurship, things like side hustles, it's a much different place than it was 10, 20 years ago. And my overall thoughts of Vietnam, yes, if you do go to Vietnam, stay street smart, you know? Things like not flashing up your cell phones, having things like making sure you're not holding any purses or any flashy any jewelry, because chances are petty theft is still pretty rampant. Things like walking across the street, don't stop but move slowly, and just try to not get lured by people who are gonna take you as prey. Things like taking your money, scamming you. Yes, those things do happen because of things like government corruption, people not getting paid enough. And when people talk bad about an entire nation, it's kind of like, why would you want to judge someone where you can't pick where you're born? You can't pick your nationality. You can't pick overall. So I would never put down, oh, this country is horrible, this place is the worst, right? For me, Vietnam is a place of my culture and my heritage and my roots. And how safe is Vietnam? Well, according to this video, I'll be in Vietnam by the time I'll post this video on my channel, and there's only one way to find out how safe is Vietnam actually. And I'm heading to Vietnam by myself to document my journey of being a Vietnamese Canadian, figuring out my roots. And if you want to follow my journey, not for the views, not for the fame, but just for myself and discovering who I really am for a brief amount of time, follow me on the Instagram, @BrokeTheHabit, and keep up with my journey. And I'm gonna be trying to post vlogs live and another little chapter of my own diary. My name is Peter, you're watching Broke the Habit, and I'm going to visit and maybe move to Vietnam. Who knows? See you on the other side.